And even, within that, what should I say, paradigm or whatever, she still needed more than what they were giving, but also different. So, wow. Yeah.
So
to get her to be able to work, which she wants to do.
Well, and there's the thing, like people have to figure out what each individual is good at and help them. Like people, like children, like adults with autism, they're great in programming. To the Microsoft to develop programming system and certification for people with autism because they're great at it because they're doing. Exactly. They're very focused and they can do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Where I would lose the patience. Honestly.
Yeah, me too.
But they're good at it. Just give them a chance.
Yes.
So there's the whole process of what we will do. I'm not even saying if or, when. We will do this because 40% of people with disabilities are unemployed. Mm-hmm. But why? Because there's no options for them. There's no proper training for them.
Yep. She's 22. And let me tell you, after she, when she turned 22, things really, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a totally new game.
Yes. So there's a lot of plans, we have stages that everything's done, and we're going to have a day camp. So if, there are people who don't want to leave their child overnight, they can come and, leave them during the day, but it's going to be still the same thing. Training, therapy, gardening. I mean, you name it. I mean, we're looking at, so there is a land for sale in Ulster County, and Ulster County in New York has been awesome.
I'm a little familiar with that. That's starting to be upstate New York?
Yes.
Is that like, where is it near? I'm thinking.
It's Poughkeepsie, but Poughkeepsie,
okay. Yep.
Poughkeepsie is on another side of the Hudson. This one is on the I-87 side.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been so nice. Like, I'm actually going to, I'm meeting the head of economic development on Friday. And then we have a meeting with the CEOs of the hospitals because we do need to create a partnership with the hospitals. I don't want to be a hospital. I want to make sure that, the hospital, nearest the hospital, going to know our residents.
You have to. And I think, the relationships that you establish, working all towards solutions is great because I think it breaks down to, there's these corporations and these people or these like entities that we think of as, if they're just awful or whatever, but the people within them I've found a lot of times are, kind of trying to work within the system and they're aware, but they don't know what to do either, Yes. So you're just blowing me away. I'm really thankful.
So, and then, and we're going to have to talk to, Autism Speaks organization and mm-hmm. other organizations to create a training program for fire department, police department, and paramedics, how to deal with if they get a call, that there is an autistic child, because they don't know. They weren't trained for that.
Right.
They're not on a daily basis, touching with that. The biggest thing what we want to actually do is talk to airlines.
I'm sorry, say that again. Talk to
airlines, because airlines being under very, very bad threat. But we have numbers showing actually we did a lot of AI and evaluation and, you're losing money if, you're dealing with, if you don't know how to deal with, IDP, population because, the planes are delayed or bad press or whatever it is. So there is the whole plan set it up, but again, I cannot do it my own, right? So
of course.
I have people who are like, okay, we can help, with this. I just had one of the twins. I have a 6-year-old twin boy as well.
Wow.
One of the moms, she does grant writing. I said, okay, I'm going to need your help to figure out what grants we can apply for. Right?
Excellent. So you're just right now, so you stopped doing your career to get into this project and do this because you felt a calling.
This is
your mission.
This is my exactly.
Yeah.
To help one family at a time, because honestly, and I told this to everybody from day one. I said, if I hire a nurse and I gonna hear her once or him once, the rest of the voice, she's out, and I write her up that she's not gonna be able to even freaking find a job anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I said, because I need people with compassion. This is not business to make millions of dollars. This is mission to open the communities and help the communities to understand the IDD population and help them grow.
I think ultimately for our country, we're investing money in a program like yours is far better solution than, just not knowing what to do, putting people in these homes and day programs and not looking at their abilities. It's going to become a bigger and a bigger problem and cost more and more money. I think that if we can find, like you're saying, exactly. Beautiful.
You can't, everybody is, everybody's teachable no matter what your level is.
Yeah.
You just have to find what they like and what helps them to learn and what they're actually good at. And I'm a strong believer in education. I'm a strong believer in training. And I'm a strong believer that my son, even Nicky, he loves garden. We live in an apartment and I had a planting pot with I had a pineapple there, believe it or not.
Really?
And I walking in the living room and my planting pots are on the floor and Nicky is holding the pineapple in his hand. I'm like, really? I said, for my garden, the little one I have, which is nothing, it's just the planting pot, it's all gone. And he's laughing. But he loves that. He loves the ground. He likes, so instead of letting them sit in the room all day long, they will go in the garden. They will go, Nicky's part of the physical therapy for kids like Nicky is going to be pushing the carts when, change the bed sheet. It's I don't want, they need to walk. They need to be active no matter what it is.
That's another one of my, pet peeves is that this population really needs, because they, a lot of them are subject to have to take a lot of medications. There's limited options for that they can control, but if they can actually physically move and exercise in some way, it's going to be to their benefit if they can learn to make it a lifestyle choice on some level, or it's part of their program.
Yes, definitely. And then the best part of, Ulster County is that there is a property. It's 520 acres property, and it's for sale by Sister of Red Heart, with nuns.
Oh.
And already has, so 360 acres is not developed. So this is going to be for housing. Let's say your kids would be as our residence and you retired and you want to move closer to them, you will be able to buy a lot or, rent a house or buy a house or whatever.
Wow.
To be closer to them. But there is already school ready. They already have a swimming pool. They already have a tennis court. They already have an art center. They already have a housing.
Huh.
Right, so we're just going to have to remodel and upgrade and there's chapel. The only thing what I, not want is to make sure we're not going to disturb the cemetery. I'm like, seriously, that would be unethical and immoral. I said, we're actually going to make it nice for the benches there for you if you want it. It's, there's not something that I actually even would think about it.
Right.
But then I talked to the head of economic development and I said, well, where the nuns gonna go? I said, if there is a housing, I don't mind if they stay in the property and they can volunteer because they cannot take money, but they can volunteer. So it's gonna give them purpose to do something.
It'd be a win-win.
Exactly. And the property is beautiful. It's right on a Hudson. The views are gorgeous.
I bet.
And it's not expensive, right? It's not,
because you're outside of New York City bubble.
Yes. And it's close enough to the city, but far enough from the city.
Uh-huh.
So you can drive there. You can, so we actually go, and I have to go again next week, Friday, to see the buildings, in what state they are and what we have to do. But by the pictures that the real estate guys send us, it's almost brand new in the chapel. It's beautiful. And I talked to my partner yesterday. He goes, well, what do you think we're going to do with the chapel? I said, you know what? There are plenty of people with autistic children, with disabilities children, that they would love to go to church, but they don't want the look. They don't want the. Let's just have a mass every Sunday open to everybody.
Yep.
I said, and honestly, I like to go and pray sometimes and light a candle when
Absolutely.
things get overwhelming. And I said, I would love to keep it, and it's a beautiful chapel, and it's not, it's beautiful. And it's like, and it's 520 acres. I can do whatever I want with it.
Wow. So, so how far out is your, as far as your planning, like how far out, do you have a 5-year plan or what's it look like?
We have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan and 10-year plan. If we're going to get this property, we're hoping to open at least the day camp and, other services by next year, September.
Wow. So September 2019.
Yes. So it's this coming faster
moving
because
quickly.
People wanted to help and they wanted to have this. And then we're going to build probably on the same, we're going to have to build, residential 1 level for people for adults like my son because, they're going to be on the wheelchairs and I have to look at evacuation if something happened and you have to have emergency plan and
there's a lot involved. Yeah.
Exactly. So it needs to be as safe as possible. But hopefully by 2020, we're going to have all the residents, the farming, the composting, the stores, and a restaurant and everything else already operating and ready. From there, we already have Maryland who wants to get involved. We have in North Carolina who wants to see the first pilot project to go and then extend to the different states.
Wow. So you're already getting a lot of support and interest.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I think you're right at doing it right at the perfect, well, there is no perfect time, but
no, there's never,
a good time.
Exactly. There's always a good time.
Yeah, there's always a good time. Yeah.
But I said, and I keep telling everybody, I said, I cannot do everything by myself. I understand from my perspective what, as a parent, I wanted to see and how I would feel comfortable, dying tomorrow knowing that my child is in a proper care.
Mm-hmm.
But I can, like real estate, I'm a banker. I'm a, Wall Street person.
Well, you have your, what you've learned in your career and your skill set and no one could do it all, could ever do a project like this by themselves.
Exactly. So, everybody's trying to pitch as much as they can, but I'm so excited about it. I don't even sleep anymore. I'm
excited for you. I'm so excited to talk to you and hear about this. It's called Nicky's Garden?
Yes, it's Nicky's Gardens of Hope because Nicky's is Nicky, and in gardens, Nicky loves gardens and waterfalls and trees and everything else, and of hope to give a hope not only to adults but also families. Right?
Yes.
So we were trying to come up with a name. It's like, okay, at the end it's going to be NGH, Nicky's Gardens of Hope, but right now it's Nicky's Gardens or Nicky's Gardens of Hope or Gardens of Hope. Whoever wants to, I know it's too long, but
I think that's great. Yeah. And
on top of that, we're going to work on short movie, documentary movie. So I will, talk to families and, what their biggest fear is and how, the life, like you're doing podcast. I want to do short movie and I have a friend of mine who is very well connected in Hollywood.
Great.
So we're going to do documentary for that. And hopefully we're going to be able to put it on, Netflix or whatever it is. But I want to it's not only to build facility, it's also create awareness that we are humans, that we feel lonely, that, they are still our children, that there are a lot of, issues. But at the end of the day, everybody.
We're all people.
Exactly.
And we all are going to be here together for a while, so we better try to make things better.
Exactly.
Yeah. So where can people find you and find information about the
garden?
This project? Yeah.
So we're working on a website. Again, it's coming faster than I anticipated. So for the past 4 months, we've been doing all the research, getting technology together, getting, what we need. We spend time on researching which state is the best to open by how much the state paying and the government. But the biggest issue is, and I'm not going to make a political statement, but the biggest issue is to be sustainable enough that I can care for, 40, 50 years and beyond for our residents. For our, they are our residents. They're going to be our residents. So the biggest issue was how we can sustain. That's where the farming comes in, because we can sell locally. We can,
self-sustaining, ideally.
Exactly.
To move the needle forward, maybe lift just a degree or two. So yeah, I think that's kind of my reasoning behind even